This here is the Benelli BKX. And this here is something else. But doesn't it look very similar? Hello, this is B4R, and in the Qjmotor official worldwide website, we've got all the motorcycles. Most of them we've got here in Greece, the country Greece in Europe. This does not exist yet, I don't think, the SRT 800RX, that's a new model. And I found out that this came out. It's the SRT 300DX. And it seems to be a very off-road capable motorcycle. It actually looks like the BKX from Benelli that we saw in EICMA twice already, in 2 consecutive years. That's what I was looking for, the word. Anyway, and we still don't have it, and it's April, so we're past the first third of the year, and we're supposed to be getting bikes from EICMA, but we're not getting anything. I haven't seen anything. We haven't seen the ultra hike. We haven't seen many things. We haven't seen. So yes, as I was saying, I think this is the 1821 version of this. If you look at it, the frames are pretty similar. The engine is similar. Qj makes the Benellis, but this is more like what we wanted vs what we don't really want. This has got Italian design. That's what I've got to say about that specific design. The Italian designs are perfecto. This is so this looks a bit like the Lucky Strike. What is it called, that bike? It's called Desert X, which comes from another bike, some other model. Anyway, this bike, there is a resemblance, don't you think? Kind of. It also reminds me a bit of that North American bike. A bit like the Tenere, Yamaha Tenere for North America, South America. 300 they've got there. They also got a Honda Desert something. It's kind of like this. Honda Sahara, not Desert. Well, technically I was correct because Sahara is a desert, right? But we see here it's got a conventional fork. If it's out now in China, we might see it here in Europe in the end of the summer. Now let's look at some details, the specs, and then I'll compare it to something we've got here in Europe to see what it really looks like. But all that after I ate my pizza. So I ate the pizza, but I can't move now, but let's continue. 292.3 cc. So I found here the Benelli BKX specs. Benelli, I think this is Benelli Australia. So it's an evolution of the TRK 251 and the Oncino 250 engine. Ooh. Consumption 3.2. So it's the same engine, 29.2, excuse me, 29, where is it, 29.3 as I see, 21.5 kilowatts. So the BKX, they say here, will be 5,000 euros. 157 kilos curb weight, 165, 150. So it's much lighter. Tank is bigger on the BKX, it's 13 liter. This one's got a 10 liter. Wheelbase 1426, 1460. Seat height do we have? 6-speed. Front suspension upside down. So I'm guessing this is not adjustable. they usually ride it when it's adjustable. Let's look at another model to make sure. So this one here, the SRT 600, we've got it here as a 500 something, I think. So suspension, it doesn't say oil dampened, so it could be adjustable. Seat height 890. Something I noticed is this thing here. It looks like the quick release thing you get on mountain bikes. Seems for the wheel in front. It's got ABS. It also looks like the rear one with it. ABS, we can see the sensor here, and on the rear we see it. See a big suspension in the rear. So suspension travel on this must be a lot, because it's a 21 and starts really low. The suspension travel, it reaches all the way up here, so that's a lot. The seat is dug in, so this will give you a higher handlebar, more bent legs, and it looks wide, so it'll be comfortable too. It's not a very extreme off-road seat. Sassy. Headlights look like LED. Windscreen looks like it's not movable. LED turning lights. No protection for the hands. That's nothing. Tiny foot pegs for the passenger. The driver foot pegs look like they're foldable in case you fall down, but the brake isn't. You see a subframe that can be removed, obviously. You see a small exhaust, I think it's a small one. It comes around the top of the bike, next to the cylinder, so you've got more clearance. Although this frame is a dirt bike style frame, it goes all around here. It's not that type of frame that the engine is part of it. Rear swing arm looks like aluminum. Got spokes from the wheels, the rims. I don't think this is tubeless from the shape of them. So I think the normal rims. Comes with a rack, so you can put something here, a suitcase. Case here on top, straight away. Mirrors look like simple, small, round mirrors. Not much to see there. I'm not crazy about the tire, the very knobby tires. I think if you've got tires like that, you would want a high fender. But I guess you can put that on. I don't know how difficult it would be to put it on. Attach it somewhere. But when I see fenders like this, I'm thinking of a more street-oriented bike. Africa Twins like that, isn't it? Even the Ducati Desert X like that. But the tires are not as knobby. And these are tubeless too. This bike in person, I've seen it in person. Although it looks huge on photos, in person it's small. I don't know how that happens, but it is. And it's got lots of suspension travel. But I've walked past it a few times and it's like it's a small bike. So the BKX doesn't seem to have adjustable suspension, but Qj seems to give us more value for money with the Qj products, Qjmotor, like the TRK 700, the equivalent Qj. It's got tubeless spoke rims, so maybe we are getting something better on the Qj version. Usually better value on Qj, better looking Benellis. So the wheelbase is 1460. As we can see here. Cover Rally 400 is 1490. The Qjmotor 700 is 1445. KTM, the 390, the new one is, the Adventure R is 1480, 2 centimeters longer. What else do we have? 300 Rally from Vogue, which is 1430. So this is a bit bigger, but we got the wheelbase seat here. So let's compare with that Rally 300. We're waiting for a new one. So we see the Qj's got a wheelbase seat here. So the wheelbase is basically smaller. And here with the Rally of Vogue doesn't have the wheelbase seat. So looks pretty much the same, maybe bigger the Rally. Suspension travel seems to be similar, a bit more on the Qj. We can't see where it finishes, so we can see the whole fork thing. Now, you see the difference in the seat? Will it make any difference in real life? 1 second. So I had to eat a bit more pizza. So here, got the foot pegs in the same position. This, I think, is the foot peg. So let's zoom out. So ground clearance is pretty much the same. Standing up position is pretty much the same. Seat height is when you're seated. In other words, how bent your legs are is very similar. A bit more bent knees on the Qj. Passenger foot pegs are almost the same spot. The chassis of the Qj seems to be further back, slightly, 1-2 centimeters. So certainly a bigger bike. I think wind protection will be better on the Woody Vogue. Well, pretty much the same, mate, because further front. The Qj will look bigger, slightly bigger, but it's pretty much the same. And will tall people fit? Yeah, I think they'll fit, because that's kind of what I'm like on this. I hit on the plastic, but here the design of the tank part seems to be different. So you can put your leg there if you're tall. It might look small with you on it, but I think you will fit. Cleaner view. It's out the hoodie in the back. Let's compare with some more bikes, although I've moved it. 1 second. 450 MT, fortunately with the suitcases, so it's slightly smaller, as you can see here, and the 450 MT is a small bike. but it's higher. Why is it higher? It's higher because I've done something wrong. I don't know why it's higher. Both seem to be the same place. I didn't fix the angle. 1 second. So angle corrected. This is the difference. It's a taller bike for some reason. Let's compare it to the Sim 200 or Sim NHT, whatever it is, 125, 200, 300, they're all the same. Moto Morini Ultra Hike, the 450 Moto Morini equivalent. See, it's again lower. So it seems this will have more suspension travel. This bike. Let's compare with the Honda Sahara. I thought it looked the same, and it is pretty much the same in dimensions. Oops, wrong bike. Very similar bike. It's the Sahara. The whole design looks very, very similar. But the Qj looks more high quality because of the upside down fork, mostly. Let's compare it with the TRK 702. Now this is an interesting comparison because if I move this, let's see here. You see how much higher the handlebars are on the TRK. So imagine the handlebars will be, if you feel like the handlebars on the TRK are in front of you, on the SRT 300 they'll be down at your legs, they will be very low. The TRKs are very comfortable bikes, big bikes. And finally, let's compare it with the Tenere 700 2025 model. So you can see how much smaller bike it is, way smaller. And what's interesting to see is put B4R on top of the Tenere, place him in the right position. Okay, and he looks okay, I guess. And then you place him, although I don't know if I would fit. Anyway, we're set on the Tenere. Let's put him on top of the Qj. See the difference. Must find Tenere. So on the Qj, it's more like, you look like you're driving something that's tall and narrow compared to the Tenere. Anyway, I think it's enough for this video. The new Qj SRT 300DX.